Okay, guys, this is the Bed Bug Podcast, Bed Bug Specialist Podcast, and today we're going to be talking about mosquitoes. So, mosquitoes is a service we do quite often in the summer, spring and summer and fall, kind of for mosquitoes, of course. And mosquitoes are definitely a nuisance and definitely a health concern as well. I mean, a lot of people don't consider mosquito control essential, but it should be because mosquitoes are one of the deadliest animals in the world, meaning because of the diseases that they carry and that they transmit from humans to pets or humans to um, animals, in all kind of ways that they transmit diseases and all kind of diseases. They are one of the deadliest animals on earth, and they're the cause or one of the factors of why so many people die. And you know, in this time of year, um, it's always definitely a contributing factor. And so yeah, so that's why they are called one of the deadliest animals in the world, or the deadliest animal in the world. I'm sorry. So yeah, so if you're in a residential area, there's different things that could, or a suburban area, even if you're out in the country, there's different ways and areas mosquitoes can hide. So here is a list of different places that mosquitoes like to hide. So yeah, and if you're in need of exterminator in our area, in the Oklahoma area, give us a call. The Tulsa, Oklahoma area. This is a great place to find. Great place, or we're a great exterminator when it comes to dealing with mosquitoes. We specialize in bed bugs, but we do all other kind of pest control as well too. So so yeah. Um, so here we go. Here is a few places, and I don't know. I was gonna put them in like most likely places, but I'm gonna just make a list because the it could be different compared to wherever you are. Like, one area might be you if you're in a suburban area, this might be more of a problem versus if you're in a more area that has more wilderness or housing addition or apartment. There's different factors. So I'm gonna just um, um, put a list out. So one place that could be is the gutters. So sometimes, like for me, I'm lazy with cleaning my gutters, and so if there's plants or anything inside there that's able to help collect water or moisture easier after it rains, and so thus it doesn't get to evaporate more effectively, and thus that's a place where female mosquitoes can lay their eggs. Which mosquitoes, um, female mosquitoes are the only ones that bite humans, not male mosquitoes. FYI, which I guess all of this is FYI really, but anyway, yeah. So check your gutters, clean your gutters out, and this is a place that we would treat as well for mosquitoes. Bird baths would be the second one. So not many people have bird baths anymore, but kind of the old school neighborhoods, older communities, that was a thing they like to do. Is you want to, and if you like birds or bird watching, then you might have a bird bath. But that's just an easy place for them to collect, um, for them to place their eggs. And female mosquitoes need about 2 ounces of water just to lay eggs, and so they want to try to lay their eggs in the place that's most um, efficient, and the most place that's going to be the where their eggs will survive or thrive the best. And so definitely larger puddles of water, but if they have to, they'll do it in smaller areas too. So, it being hot, they don't want to travel that much, so they'll find anywhere versus traveling, further to find a bigger place of water. Or, and they like stagnant water. So swimming pools, not so much because it has chemicals and it moves around because of the wind and stuff. But if the water splashes over to the grass and it stays in a little puddle for long periods of time, that will be a perfect place for them. So again, so I don't want to say swimming pools, but what swimming pools could do definitely, when it collects water on the outside of the grass and different things like that. So again, that wasn't on my list, but that's just a thought because I do get a lot of people. And then if you have a swimming pool that you don't use that often, like some people will buy those above ground pools and then forget about them or not want to mess with them, or kiddie pools, then yeah, that's definitely a place that they can possibly lay their eggs, and you can see and again, it only takes a couple days for the eggs to birth and to hatch, and they're out looking for blood. And so yeah, so that would probably be the third. The fourth would probably be kiddie pools, slip and slide pads, sprinklers, kid sprinkler systems. Yeah, these are all things that can create water, and you're probably thinking common sense is like, yeah, of course these things is. So, and because I have little kids myself, and we have these items too. We treat our yard for mosquitoes, but also what we do is when we're not using these items, we drain them, flip them over, so that, to not allow them to collect water, or so that they can evaporate properly, and that way there's no place for mosquitoes to lay their eggs, or at least limiting them the places where they can lay eggs. So that would probably be the fourth. The fifth place, I would say, would be long grass. If you don't cut your grass very often, there is places that water can reside, and just kind of, and because every yard's not even, that's definitely a place where they can look and find a place where they can lay their eggs. So make sure you cut your grass low, as often as you can, and that will create less places for water to collect, because of course it can evaporate quicker, and less opportunity for puddles to remain. And so, and the same with is uneven grass. So that would be the sixth place, uneven grass. So, or not uneven grass, uneven yards can create pools. And so this is another common thing that we see in houses when we're treating. We do an inspection before we treat for mosquitoes, and this is a common place where you can find mosquitoes. Is just uneven yards can create like areas where water can collect easier. So half the yard could be drying out great after it rains, or after your sprinkler system sets, but or even if the neighbor's water sprinkler system gets into your water, but it's collecting a little pool in your yard that you didn't know, and that's where mosquitoes are kind of growing and populating the area. And the last thing is your sprinkler system. Sprinkler systems, are pretty common, and you know mosquitoes are going to kind of find wherever they can find. And so the idea is you kind of want to make it, you're kind of going to limit how many mosquitoes with mosquito treatments, and you do want to make it as hard as you can for them to lay their eggs, or to find a place to lay their eggs. So I'm not saying not to use your sprinkler system, but you definitely want to make sure your grass is uneven, that you don't overwater, and that you just keep a eye on if when you use the sprinkler system, that it doesn't allow puddles of water to collect that you hadn't noticed. So yeah, and those are a few things that you can do to minimize mosquitoes populating in your yard. Now, again, mosquitoes are flying insects, so they are going to come, but this will help minimize them. And then, of course, a barrier treatment, traps, using a professional can definitely help a little more, or a lot more, really. So yeah, so here are some tips. Again, we know that this is a pest control podcast. It's focusing on bed bugs, but this is definitely a big problem this summer, and so we wanted to give some advice on mosquitoes. So until next time, guys, thanks.